Well, hello and welcome to the Heed Army podcast. Just on Spreaker today. We aren't broadcasting live on Facebook, but if you are listening, let it be known that you are going to be able to watch this. We are recording it. We've got a green screen behind us. So later on tonight or tomorrow, once we get it all edited and put up on Facebook and YouTube, you will be able to watch this. But the show is no different and a lot to talk about, Mickey.
Plenty to talk about,
yeah. Well, as I say, we've got two phone calls today. We've got Thomas Feahney on the phone, a non-league journalist, and journalist as well. I don't want to say they just specialise in non-league, but football journalist. And we've got Steve Harrison from Dead Good Management, who represents a couple of players that have been at Gateshead this past season, and of course Jake Cooper. So it'll be interesting to talk to him, and also a bit of a musical background he's got as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, certainly has, and I'm looking forward to speaking to him.
He certainly has. And, also as well, the playoff games have been confirmed. They've been ratified this week. They hadn't actually been confirmed, Mickey, until the other day, even though the clubs had went back.
Where do you start with this National League? The National League Committee, where do you start? I mean, here we are, a week and a half away from the playoff game?
Yeah.
And very little has been confirmed. Well, obviously the playoffs have been confirmed, players have been confirmed, but how you can watch it?
Yeah, I mean, at this moment in time, there has been a couple of tweets from suggesting that clubs have been told or approached by the National League that the National League are going to stream the games themselves on their website. I'm led to believe that nothing has been confirmed at all at this moment in time. So no games as it stands at this moment in time, 10 days out, are going to be streamed. I'd imagine there's things in the background trying to get that sorted. But at this minute in time, there is no game streamed. On the commentary front, we've put feelers out. We actually emailed Brackley Town. They got back to us and they told us that Gateshead Football Club have the allocation, so it's up to Gateshead who they can take down or allow to go and do it. So obviously there's a few hurdles to get COVID test and then pass the COVID test.
Yeah.
So that's certainly not a given. It's a slim chance, but if we can, we will do it. I have heard on the grapevine as well that BBC Radio Newcastle aren't going to be covering the game. So it will be local coverage if that does happen. But the show is fully interactive. We want to hear from you. Get involved at Heed_Army, and you can message us on the Spreaker website as well. And we'd love you to do that. And we've got two calls, as I said there before. We've got Thomas Feahney and Steve Harrison joining us on the phone later on. But also this week, I say apart from the games being ratified that it was actually going to happen, is that the loan players are back and confirmed. So we've got Dom Tier, who was released by Huddersfield, who's come back on a non-contract basis. We've got Brad James coming back as well. Fantastic. You know, he's ever present this season, bar one game. Agnew back, and Jake Cooper, of course, will be speaking to his agent about his development, as well as Joshua Kyode's development at Gateshead as well. So lots to talk about. Big positives getting them back, though.
Oh, massive. I mean, we needed, obviously, Sam was the only goalkeeper. So it's nice to be able to get Brad back. Obviously, Jake, what a player. Cracking centre half. That pretty much seals up your whole back five, really, doesn't it?
It certainly does. As Christopher Holmes has put, turn it up, please, lads. Stereo on full whack. Hopefully that is better. We have turned it up. So there we go. But yeah, having them players back is a massive, massive plus.
It is. It's, like I say, it makes up the team. I mean, I've already mentioned Jake and Brad, and then you've got obviously Liam Agnew as well, and Dom. So build up the team, and it's what we needed. It's whether other players can play or not, I don't know.
Well, I did see a few teams have had confirmation of players that can play. So hopefully, we can get George Smith to play because Scott Barrow hasn't been re-signed, and Hunter as well because Conrover wasn't re-signed. And if they are available to play, then what a quarter of players that we've got.
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, It would have been lovely to have Scott and Connor back. But I'm of the opinion, if you've been released and someone says, can you come and help me get back into the next level? To me, you're more likely to flip them the V's, really, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been released, you're probably not that keen on coming back, regardless of how the circumstances are. But we will see what's happened. Also, as well, we've got a little bit of news. You may have seen Gator FC ladies have been pushing really hard this week. They've been doing really well on social media, and they had a cameo today, didn't they, of football legend Dean Winders.
Dean Winders, aye.
So they've got the first open training session. I've been led to believe there's only 2 spots left. So if you're a young budding female footballer and you'd like to get involved with Gateshead Ladies, there's 2 spots left. So contact them on Gateshead FC Ladies on Twitter and on Facebook, and they'll get right back to you. And hopefully you can get along on Saturday up at Reckitt and get put through your paces.
Might have a wonder up.
Yeah, I think Mickey's going to pull on a skirt and try and play, but
I think we'll notice a difference if I had a skirt and my little hairy legs.
Well, if Christopher Holmes could let us know if that sounds any better, we have turned it up. We are using different microphones today. We're trying to be snazzy with cordless microphones, but we'll see if that's any better. But please do let us know.
By half an hour's time.
I hope not for how much I've paid for them. Right, but yeah, I would say it's been a frustrating time. As we said, that nothing's been confirmed until this week officially, properly. Obviously the clubs must have had an inkling that it was going to be confirmed because they've put money and time and effort into getting the players back, training and things like that. But to not have the games sorted out at this stage for being televised so people will be able to see them. I know in the scheme of things, it's not like you've got a few million Manchester United fans around the world want to see a game. Let's put it into perspective. It's Gateshead and Brackley.
Right.
To us, they're our fantastic teams, but to a broadcasting company, it's not exactly a good payoff, is it?
Well, it's not, but at the same time, the National League playoffs on the same days?
I believe they might be, yes, at different times.
So that tells you where the cameramen are.
Yeah, it could be. And we've got... It is 16-5 for Gateshead to beat Brackley, says Mick Scully. So if you fancy a bet, that's not a bad price, that, to be honest.
16-5.
It's just over 3-1. All
right.
So yeah, well, as I say, I think the bookmakers might have that wrong. I think it'll be closer than that. But so get yourself to the bookies if you do like a tipple.
Scully, what odds at Brackley then?
Yeah, well, we'll find out. We will find out. You can tweet us at @Heed_on. We will be joined by Thomas Feahney shortly on the phone. He's going to ring us, and we'll be speaking to him about everything that's happened. Because when we spoke to him about arranging this call, he said to us, hopefully the playoffs will be confirmed and the dates, and we've got that now. So it'd be nice to talk to him. And if you do not follow him on Twitter, himself and Ollie Bailey. Bayless, sorry. They are the ones that you want to follow for update news, as well as Mark Carruthers as well. We can't forget about our favourite journalist.
Mark,
you'll get all the breaking news from these outlets on Twitter, so do follow them if you don't already. But we'll be speaking to Thomas Feahney, and also, as I say, if you are just joining us, we're going to have Steve Harrison, who is the agent to the Stars of Jake Cooper and Joshua Coyote, and we want to talk to him about how he sees Gateshead for developing young players. Of course, it's worked fantastically this season for Brad James. Obviously, he doesn't represent him, but especially for Cooper and Coyote. And Coyote's went to Football League and scored goals in the Football League.
Did you see his interview?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's a cracking interview. Absolutely brilliant interview. I mean, to be fair, since they went back to Rotherham, the two of them's done absolutely fantastic.
They certainly have. Brackley are 8-11. So wow. So I think if you want to beat the bookies, lump on. If we lose, don't come back to us. If we lose, don't come back to us.
I'll come back to you. I didn't say anything about lumping on me.
You did. It was all in your eyes. Remember, it is a fully interactive show at Heat_Army. We'd love to hear from you. And if you've got any questions for our phone guests as well, and hopefully we might be hearing from Jack, the Brackley fan, as well, and we'll get an update on how their players are and what they've signed and what's happening in their local press. It'd be great to hear from them. So if we've got a space as well, you could ring up as well, 077 494 55002. So get involved. And if you're watching on Facebook, obviously this bit isn't live, but we are hoping that you're enjoying the green screen as we put this naked picture of Mickey behind us.
Jesus.
So if you're listening live or listening to the
pre-record, if they were listening
press pause now at this stage. Go to Facebook and go to whatever minute this is at the moment. So that'll be fantastic viewing.
There's a naked picture of me. They're not going to be watching it for the rest of the show.
To be honest, I'm going to see what comes up in the Google search when I put Mickey naked. So it could be anything comes up behind us. So. It'll be beautiful. It will be beautiful.
Davies Part 2.
Right, here we are. Mickey, the man, Mick Scully. The National League playoffs on the 17th and 18th of July. The North and South are all on the 19th. I think it was it Chester, Altonham were penciled in for the televised games or streamed games. I don't know if clubs themselves are looking to stream them themselves. We don't know what options are around. I'd imagine in the next 10 days, especially the next 10 days, we'll be finding out because they'll be wanting to get the best service in possible, each club to be able to do it or whatever.
I just hope we don't get overpriced.
You would hope, but as I say, nothing would surprise me at the moment with the National League and the FA because they just seem to drag their feet and whether we seem to be the afterthought at the moment. I don't think they expected the teams at this level to vote for it, and I think they've been caught on the back. Sam Pendleton's put, evening lads, looking forward to our game against Brackley. We just have to give it our best shot and hopefully we can get through to the semi-final. Well, of course, if people don't realise, normally you have semi-final and a final in playoffs. This is a little bit different. You've got like a semi-final eliminator to get to the semi-final because it's the top 7 teams, of course, enter the playoffs, the champions go up, then it's the next 6 teams play it out. So it is going to be all there for us to get through. But
if we're going to do that extremely hard.
The thing is, though, I know today as well, I think Notts County have been confirmed they can play friendly against one of the National South teams. But with Gateshead having an extra game, if they get through, surely that's got to play into our hands for a little bit better team cohesion and you would fit in a little bit of fitness.
You would think so because... I looked, I think it was when I was talking to a lad from the Y-Front fanzine at York, and we're talking about the Cheltenham Northampton game.
Yeah.
Where they got beat 2-0.
Whoops. And dropped the phone.
They got the Cheltenham Northampton game, they were 2-0 down, and Northampton went away and put right.
Yeah.
And won the second leg 3-2. Now, we play one game and say we scrape it through. You can go back to training and say, right, we didn't do this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you're playing the likes of Boston, they're going to...
Yeah. Also, as well, there is some slight rule changes. As I say, it only goes straight to penalties if the game is finished level after 90 minutes. And, we've got a call here. Tom. Rightio. Hello, Tom.
Hello, how are we doing?
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us. How are you?
I'm not too bad at all. How are you?
Yeah, very well. As I say, as a journalist, I would imagine it's probably been a bit of a frustrating time trying to get information out at the moment.
Yeah, it's been an interesting 3 months, I've got to say. And when you're looking at the situation of the National League, it has just been waiting for a statement that seemed to take quite a while, but we've got there in the end and a bit of progress made.
It certainly has. I mean, it still feels like the FA and National League have dragged their feet a little bit at our level regarding the playoffs, even after the vote.
Well, I mean, when you look at it, for steps 3 to 7, it was confirmed within 10 days, the null and void decision. And then for the National League, in terms of ratification of the ordinary resolution, that still has not been voted for as of this moment. Now, there is going to be a meeting, I'm led to believe, by the end of this week. And I've been told it is basically a formality that it will be voted through. But as of this moment in time, it has not yet been ratified.
Yeah, I thought I had seen that it had been ratified, but even still, that as I say, we think it's going to be a formality, but God forbid, all these teams have invested money and time and effort to be able to get where they are now in the hope of playing these games. And could you imagine if it didn't happen?
I mean, it'd be incredible if it didn't. It'd be just it really would be a story in itself. But I think the thing is, the way the National League communicated to clubs now is these games are going to take place. I can't see them not.
Yeah.
After the amount of, like you've said, the time, the effort, and the financial, the amount of finances that some of the clubs have had to put in already. I mean, if it didn't happen, then wow, there really would be a problem.
Yeah, there certainly would.
Major hassle, wouldn't it? They'd be looking for compensation left, right, and centre, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think the thing is, what you're looking at is it isn't just the testing; it's getting the players off furlough. It's in terms of getting the grounds ready and getting certain protocol in place. There is a major expense that's gone in already for the clubs that are taking part.
It certainly has, and although we did get some good news this week that although I think it's been ratified, but obviously Gateshead's got a lot of loan players have come back, and that seems to be as if it's going to get across the line that we can use these players. But I mean, it's been a really difficult time for clubs who released a lot of players and trying to get them back, because obviously they come out with that you can only have the players that you had registered on March the 16th.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting one because I know one player, well, I won't name them, but they've agreed a contract with another club, and they are a team that are currently in the playoffs, and that the club have asked the players, are you willing to take part? And I know that they're really in two minds whether or not they will, because obviously if, let's say, they get a serious injury playing in these playoffs, that the new club could very easily say, right, well, that contract is now withdrawn. And I mean, it is a real serious predicament for some players, and obviously for some clubs to try and persuade these players as well.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I think Gateshead are trying to get some, because obviously we released a couple of players and signed players before the vote actually happened, and they're trying players of a similar level. It's not like they've went out and got some ringers from the Championship, and brought them in. Can you see teams getting a buy on maybe 1 or 2 or 3 signings being made?
I think it will just be up to that date, which was when the season ended, on the basis that, should I say, when play was suspended, because it is on the basis of you could look at maybe 1 or 2 clubs that could say, let's say Notts County go to Nottingham Forest, right? Go on, we'll have one of your star players who isn't playing at the minute.
Yeah.
It would get rid of that proposal, but I think the way that the FA have done it is they've accepted the paperwork for certain players on the proviso that the National League will stick by that ruling. So again, it's not all confirmed at the moment, but obviously certain clubs have already had the okay that players will be available.
Yeah. And obviously, one of the big things for all the fans of all the clubs concerned is about potential being able to see the game. I mean, there was talk at the beginning of BT maybe streaming the North and South games. That seems to have disappeared. And then we've seen talk of the National League themselves putting the games up. But I've been told in certain quarters that hasn't been confirmed either yet.
No, it's a really interesting one, because Havant and Waterlooville on Sunday night put out this tweet saying that the National League were going to stream their semi-final, and it was going to be on a pay-per-view service that the National League themselves were using, and they were in talks with different providers regarding it. Then on Monday, Altrincham put out a statement saying their game against Chester would be on a pay-per-view service. Again, very much similar wording to that. But other teams have then said that they've not had official confirmation regarding it. And one club I spoke to today has said they're still waiting for the National League to kind of give, the thumbs up regarding it. They will be airing the game, but it's whether or not it will be an in-house job for the club or whether it will be the National League who are going to be doing it. I think the National League's aim is that they will air all the playoff games for the North and South, but there's still not been any confirmation yet.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, at the moment, 10 days to go. It isn't a very long time to try and, especially because you think about the facilities at each club. It's not like you go into a Premier League ground where all the wiring's pre in there. It can just set the cameras up and go with the trucks outside. Going to these little clubs, it's a task in itself, and to try and do this in this amount of time with, let's say, not BT or Sky or BBC, with littler companies that have got to do it, it's a big undertaking.
It most certainly is, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of technology they use, because, again, with some of these clubs, if they were to try and use, some kind of high-tech equipment, it would be a real struggle to actually get them to work in some of these grounds. So
we know
I
ourselves.
wonder how they'll do it.
We know ourselves just broadcasting, because we do commentary at games, going to certain clubs. You have to stream from your phone, your own internet, and that isn't 100%. And if you're doing audio and with video, you need to have a really, really good internet connection and high-speed computers. So to get all that into one place in these little grounds, and fair enough, there isn't going to be people in the stands that can use more space, but it's a big undertaking. It's not as easy as just setting up a camera and bumping it onto the internet.
Definitely, and I think as well in terms of how many people will stream this, because the prices, if it is a pay-per-view service and there is a fee, I still think there's going to be a good uptake for it, because obviously if it was a regular playoff game, you'd expect the attendances to be pretty near capacity for playoff matches. So
another thing as well that's a plus on that side is that obviously the bars aren't allowed to show games and things like that. So it's not like one bar will pay for the stream and you lose 200 people going to that bar to watch it. You're going to have the potential of having those 200 people each purchasing it, So it's a captive audience, so to speak.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think as well, just when you talk to fans who aren't in England, there's going to be quite a few people who would have been wanting to watch this in different countries. So there's going to be a very wide audience for these games.
To be honest, Tom, it's going to be there's a potential massive audience. If it's up to the National League, it'll probably not go online until about 3 minutes before kickoff, and it'll probably charge about 20 quid.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. I think the thing with it is I just hope that the National League understand the potential audience that they could have for this, because there are people out there who will go, oh, there's a playoff game, Brackley against Gateshead. How much is it? Oh, I don't know what the price would be. I'd heard a rumour of between £5 and £10, but let's say even if it's a tenner, there will be people who might just go, well, you know what, I want to watch some football today. Go on, then I'll give that a watch. So it'll be interesting to see just if they can cope with the demand.
Be very interesting. Because I haven't got a good word for the National League at the minute.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a bad time with them over the last few years. But Tom, we've been asking everyone this over the last couple of weeks. Did you actually see this happening when the vote come across, or did you just think the league would vote for Kings Lynn and York to get straight promotion and everyone just gets to build for next year?
I mean, it's a really interesting one, because obviously, the Promote 2 campaign was, something that I think it went a lot more viral than people within certain sectors thought. But, the work of Alan Mack, he deserves a lot of credit for getting the government's word on what was happening. But for me, it was always a case of one up and that's it, or one up and the playoffs. So, the playoffs are here now, and it'll be very interesting to see just what happens over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think one positive. I mean, obviously there hasn't been that many positive tests in the Premier League and Football League testing. There hasn't been any in the National League, which is it's a massive thing because myself and Mickey were talking just before we came on air. What would happen if one club, unfortunately, or two clubs come down with 5 or 6 COVID cases? It would potentially knock the games out of being able to be played.
Yeah, and I mean it's a really fair point. And when you look at the Premier League and the EFL, obviously they've been releasing the results. So they've been saying, there's 4 positive cases this week. The National League have decided that they're not going to do that. So it is down to the clubs to release that. And obviously, I think Notts County have every week been saying, right, we've had no cases so far. And in fairness, no club that has released it so far has said they've had any cases. But it will just be very interesting to see if that was to happen because, you look at Chester, they've only had their testing done on Monday. So, again, it's that whole thing of there could be some twists and turns left with this. Hopefully there isn't. I'd love it if there's no positive cases, all the games go ahead. But
with the stage that we're at, you'd want all the games to go ahead because, I mean, rivalries aside, not that we've really got any rivalries apart from York in the playoffs potentially, you wouldn't want to see a club have to fall out of it and have the cost of it as well. It would just be horrific, really, wouldn't it?
And I think that's the thing is, a lot of these clubs have basically been putting their budget to one side for next season and then have been doing a separate thing for this round of testing for these playoffs. And if they were to then be told, right, you can't take part because of how many positive cases or for whatever reason, I mean, it would have a serious impact for next season as well, just for the waste of money to get no reward.
Yeah, it's strange times, really, isn't it? It's the best way to describe it.
Is.
I mean, to me, Tom, I'm one of the 2 up. I think if you're going to go points per game, just promote the top 2. I don't even think we should be faffing on with the playoffs. Yeah, we're in it on points per game, and I cannot wait for them to start. But for me, it would have been if you're doing points per game, get the 2 up and let's be done with it. That was my feelings on the whole situation.
And I think the thing with the North and the South is, Kings Lynn and York, I think you can't really argue that they were the 2 best teams and the most consistent teams in the league. And then in the South as well, Wealdstone, I think were the best team in the league. And I think having at Waterlooville, you could argue, were the second best team. So it's very interesting that they've gone down this route. And I wonder how many people actually would have complained if they had just said the top 2 go up. Because,
I don't
again, it would have been the thing of next season. Yeah. More teams could have planned quicker.
I mean, sorry for cutting across you there, Tom, but I don't think anybody would have batted an eyelid, personally.
Yeah, well, we've been speaking to a Brackley fan ever since the playoff vote has happened, and the first week, a few weeks ago, he initially thought Brackley wouldn't take part, and I think we were kind of the same, and we've both been pleasantly surprised that the game's happening, and I think both sets of fans class it as a bonus, that the season was over, but we've got a chance still. But speaking to Tom, the Brackley fan, and he was talking to his friends and stuff, and he was telling us that they all kind of thought, well, yeah, just send the top 2 up, and not risk anything for the clubs. But as I say, thankfully, both clubs, or as I say, all 6 clubs have found it, financially viable to be able to do.
And I think that's the thing is the amount of work that's gone in for these clubs already. You look at Boston United have had to agree a new deal for their stadium to basically to allow them to continue playing at York Street for the next few weeks. Because if they hadn't been allowed that, I don't know how they would have taken part in it. Chester financially have had to, do a lot of fundraising. Their players have made a great sacrifice financially as well. And, you look at the work of Gateshead and you look at the work of Brackley. For the northern teams, really I looked at it and thought Altrincham and York were the only 2 where you could definitely say they will 100% be taking part in it.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I thought Brackley and Chester were going to be the ones that might have said, no, not for us.
I wouldn't have been surprised if it had been us as well.
Yeah. I mean, but as I say, it has been a massive bonus. But I mean, obviously, yourself, you tweet out a lot of information and that. And what's been the feedback from all the teams involved? Have they been happy, or has it been a case of, oh, we probably could have done without this?
Well, I think it's one of those where the clubs are happy. There's only one or two clubs that I've spoken to that are in the playoffs, but I think there is that general thing of they want to be playing on the pitch. They want to be in a position where they're doing it. And you look at York City and how when you go on all these tables right now, obviously none of them are updated with points per game.
Mm-hmm.
York are top of all these tables, so for them, I think it would have been a real hard feeling to have missed out on the chance to even gain promotion when the play stopped. They were top of the league. So I think that's the thing now. Clubs are getting used to it. There's a lot of protocol to go through though before all these games take place. And I tell you this, there's a lot of work to do still. So it'll be a busy time for all the clubs involved.
It certainly will. And do you think you'll be able to get any of the games, or is the COVID testing a stumbling block for you?
I think I'm going to be going to the Harrogate Town games, I think, and I'm trying my absolute best to get to the whichever team is in the National League North Promotion final. I'm going to try and go. There's a newspaper that asked me if I want to go to it, so fingers crossed I can get in. But again, I think the thing is there's going to be such a limit on attendance as in with the media and in terms of
we
staff
put
from
some
other
feelers out
clubs.
for going to Brackley, and there's limited spaces being given to Gateshead, and it depends. Obviously, if you can pass a COVID test, I think it's highly unlikely we'll be able to cover the game. But as I say, the people that do cover it will have a massive audience, whether it's online or on radio.
Definitely, and I think the thing as well, I think everyone at these games will just understand how privileged they are, really, because there's going to be thousands of people that want to attend all these games, and only like a select few are going to be able to.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Thomas, thank you very much for giving up your time to talk to us. Hopefully you managed to get to some of the games, and if Gateshead make it to the final, hopefully you'll be watching us go up.
Maybe we'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Definitely.
Thomas, thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully we can talk to you again in the future.
No worries at all. Yeah, anytime.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Take care, Thomas.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
There we go, Thomas Feahney there, fantastic. I say a wealth of knowledge.
Spoke well.
Yeah, and well, see, it's not a given he'll be able to get into the games. But if you want to, we are going to be hearing from Steve Harrison from Dead Good Management. If you don't know who he is the agent to the Stars. Well, the Stars that have been engaged, Joshua Cody and Jake Cooper. So if you've got any messages for him, or questions,
kerosene.
Yes, Mickey's going to be talking to him about music as well. And and Christopher Holmes has put, I think a few neutrals will be watching the playoffs being streamed. It's not as if they can attend the usual pre-season friendlies. Of course, it's that time of year, pre-season friendlies. It was a couple of years ago we beat Motherwell 3-2.
I've seen that on Twitter. I think it was Dan.
At this stage of the year, we'd be gearing up for pre-season friendlies, and instead we're gearing up for a playoff showdown with Brackley. And Christopher Holmes has put, thanks Thomas, very informative. If you want to tweet us at @Heed_Army, please do. I'll have a look to see if we have any tweets. We haven't had any as of yet. In fact, I think there was a message earlier on. We already got Steve on the phone. Hello there, Steve. Are you all right?
Hi. You okay?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's all right. Agents of the Stars.
Yeah, Agent of the Stars. Well, obviously we'll talk about that straight off. You represent Jake Cooper and Joshua Cody. Say the two players that came in as young boys and have definitely left the club as men. And say Jake's come back for the playoffs, and Joshua's went on to be scoring goals in the Football League.
Yeah. They've both done really well. And I think the biggest thing is they've enjoyed it. The biggest part of the game was that the fact that they've had such a lot of pleasure out of it. JJ, especially at the beginning, he got a fantastic welcome and he did well, and he got a fantastic response from the fans. And I think initially it was JJ who recommended Jake come along as well, and then I followed it up. Yeah, but they both had a great period.
So the first few games, I remember when, because Joshua came, I think, just before a game, didn't he, and signed before one of the games, and he was thrown in at the deep end, and you could see there was potential there, but it took him about 3 or 4 games just to find his feet, and when he did, wow, he was a defender's nightmare.
Yeah, I've known him since he was 15, back in Dublin, and I think he was always a difficult player to deal with, and a difficult player to know how. And I think he's got a hell of a lot of pace, which kind of doesn't always go with his stature, because he's such a big lad. But he's got great feet. He's got a hell of a lot of pace, and I think it's just a case of him growing into the game as much as anything else, and it takes him a little while, and then he's been incredibly effective, and he's been effective for the Rotherham as well. He's done well in the first team outings at Rotherham. But I think it's a case of familiarising himself with the pace and the difference in the game and the energies, and then 3 games in and he started doing well, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did. I mean, he was leading the line, and when he actually left it was hard to imagine that he was only 19-year-old. 20-year-old, you were thinking, this is a lad who's like a seasoned pro. So
and he's come along well, and he's improved again. When unfortunate to pick an injury up at Carlisle, but he was progressing really well at that stage, and again scored a couple of early goals, and his confidence was booming at that stage, I think he would have loved to have stayed up at Gateshead in a lot of ways, but it's like anything, isn't it? We've got to show progression, and ultimately the end game is.
I think nobody was unhappy, especially when he went in to play the Football League. You don't want to stand in the way of any player's progression, and as I say, I think he'd be one of them players that we always look to see where he's playing and if he's scoring, and we can proudly say, well, he learnt that at Gateshead.
Well, he did. I think he did, and I think it's done the world of good for him. It really has. I think he's done an interview with a magazine back in Ireland this week, and he's referred to the experience that he had at Gateshead and how important it was, and it's huge for him. Absolutely huge experience. You can't get that playing in the under-23s. No. It just doesn't come. I mean, you don't get that buzz off the crowd, and you don't get that energy and that the inevitability that you got to win every game. You know what I mean? Because people expect it.
I mean, the last game that he played for us, he came off on about 60 minutes, got a great reception. I don't think it was known that he was going to be leaving. It was announced after the game, but you could see that in his body language, he was devastated to be leaving. He was clapping the fans and taking his time getting off the from the pitch.
He's just milking it, man.
No, but you could see that there was a genuine and it's nice to see, because I'll not name any players, but we've had loan players in the past that couldn't wait to get in the car and out the car park, and it's nice to see someone who appreciated being at the club. I mean, we're not the biggest club in the world, we know that, but if players can come here and enjoy themselves and progress, then it's a great advertisement for the club.
Oh, it is, and it opens the doors for other opportunities, and and it was a perfect fit for Jake to come along, you know what I mean, and that comes with experience and positivity from JJ, and long should it continue. We've got 2 players that we're looking to put out on loan this year from our stable, if you like, at the moment, and Gateshead would be right at the top of any environment for any player, because it doesn't always work like that. Not every club is welcoming. You know what I mean? I don't think every loan is a great experience for every player. It's individual, isn't it?
Yeah. Steve, can I ask, Rotherham is equally as happy as dead good management, or about the progression of the 2 Gateshead players, 2 loan players, Jake and Josh?
Is what, sorry?
Rotherham is equally as happy about their progress.
Oh yeah, absolutely thrilled. Absolutely, because they come back better players.
Yeah,
they've both grown, and I know it's a little bit an old adage, isn't it, that they left the club as
kids and went back as men.
junior players and they came back men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And believe me, you'll know that if you go out as an 18, 19-year-old and you're up against really mean centre backs who are putting their elbows in your eyeball sockets and things like that, you'll learn pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And JJ did, and Jake did, and they've both returned back to the mothership, if you like, better players.
You mentioned Jake, and as soon as he come in, as I say, he was 18, wasn't he, when he arrived? I think he had his birthday when he was here. What a composed player on the ball for a big lad. I mean, they say a big lad with his feet, but wow, for a big defender, he's good in the air, good on the ground, and he just finds space when he gets the ball. He just receives it and distributes it well. Without blowing too much smoke up his backside, he's the all-round central defender that you'd want in your side for such a young age.
Yeah, he's a bright kid, and he's incredibly diligent. He's dedicated, and he knows the game well, reads the game well. And he used to be a striker, when he started, he was a striker. So he scored a couple of crackers, didn't he? As well,
he did. Yeah.
Has he shut up about that, what he scored yet? And he showed he's in a Bergkamp.
Yeah, it was a corker. But
I think the good thing is that he's a progressive player, isn't he? He's a modern centre back, and he's the kind of player that a lot of clubs would like to see in there. The way that Barca would play historically, and they'd play out of the back, wouldn't they? And they'd have players, centre backs, that could actually go all the way up to the other end of the ground. You know what I mean? And I don't say it, but City did a fair bit of that tonight. You know what I mean? City.
Did they play anybody? I didn't watch that. Tony Gates said.
I listened to the game a day, but Newcastle are hopeless anyway. So.
Yeah, but I'd say also as well for a player like Jake, a bit of a different type of loan move, because he was going to be obviously playing and learning alongside Mike Williamson, who's a hell of a player in his day. He still is a hell of a player, but compared to Josh, who was kind of up there on his own, battling and making his own space, Jake's got Mike Williamson there next to him, and having that experience and guidance must you kind of buy that.
No, it's an incredible privilege to be able to play with someone with that level of experience at a team like Newcastle, and he's doing a great job as a manager, and all his support team with Ian Watson as well. You've got a great setup there, and I think if you've got that person who's got that same experience and that it's. You can't buy it, as you say. You can't buy it. It's just perfect. It's perfect for Jake, and he couldn't wait to get back. Mike actually phoned him and he said, "Is there any chance of you coming back? Do you think?" And nobody knew. So I spoke to the chairman at Rotherham, and absolutely thrilled that he should come back up and play his part at the end of the season.
That's absolutely fantastic to hear that, Steve.
Yeah. The support was 199% from everybody.
Yeah,
it's
it's nice to hear that we didn't have to battle to get them to come back. When we first signed Jake, there was a lot of Rotherham fans that obviously have seen him in and around the first team. They were quite shocked to see him go out on loan. They would have liked to have seen him play in the first team. That was something a bit of a shock for when we get players on loan from higher up clubs. That it's a player that the first team fans are wanting to see in the team there and then. So is he highly regarded at Rotherham?
Yeah, I think it's a case of he's kind of one of their own. He's been brought through to the academy at 15. He was offered a scholarship. The scholarship came with a first year pro deal. So he was very highly regarded back then as a 15-year-old. And I think there's an awareness of him at the club. I think there's an awareness of both of the lads at the club, to be fair. If I attended a first team game or anything like that, they'd get noticed. Get people would be asking them for their autographs. So they're both got good presence around the New York Stadium. You know, they're well-respected players in their own right. But Jake, in particular, being a local lad and living about 3 miles from the ground, you know, it means a hell of a lot to them.
And of course, there's another massive plus for them for the start of next season. They're both players at a championship club as well.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I, you know, we as players, we did the deal at the beginning of the year. So both Jake and JJ were signed. They signed new 3-year contracts at Rotherham, which is fantastic. Both of them, not identical contracts, different contracts that serve different purposes. But you know, it was the last deal that we did before the COVID lockdown. Believe it or not, with Jake, we actually sat in the room. There were no one in the building hardly, just myself, the chief executive and Jake, and we were all about 4 meters apart, I think, passing this piece of paper around. There were no hugs, no anything, and I can remember going back out into the car park with Jake afterwards, and it was like. And we looked at each other. I said, "You pleased?" And he said, "Yeah, really pleased." So I can't hug you. I can't pat you on the back because we all know what's going to go on soon. And literally the day after, that was my last trip out. You know, so I'd gone over from sort of Manchester over to Rotherham, and that was it. Then we just stayed in.
Yeah,
you really spoil yourself, Manchester to Rotherham.
He gets to all the exotic places. We've got a message. We've got a message from Andy Mason, one of the listeners, who's put, I think Steve is fortunate to have Coops on his books. I can see him playing at the highest level eventually. Well, fingers crossed he is. Mickey's itching to talk to you about your musical background as well. So we'll quickly get into that.
Obviously, Charlatans, Hooky, Kerosene. Yeah. I mean, I hadn't put 2 and 2 together that Dead Good Management were management of Kerosene.
And we with Kerosene, and I think someone, was it TerraVision or something? You saw them with TerraVision.
I'm not sure if it was, but I'm just guessing. Yeah. Because it might have been like a band. Because I used to get a lot of music fanzines in the late 80s, early 90s, and there was different bands like the Wish Plants. So I'm not sure if Kerosene were there with them.
Yeah, I can't remember the specifics. We didn't manage Kerosene; they were actually on Dead Good Records.
Oh, right.
So they signed to Dead Good, and then they signed to Sire Records, which is quite. And we did it as a joint collaboration, which was fantastic, and I got to meet Madonna because of it as well. You know what I mean? So we signed them over to America in New York to Madonna's label, and the Ramones as well were on that label.
Oh my God, he's just mentioned the gods. I absolutely love the Ramones. I had a jacket signed by the Ramones, a leather jacket, and my granddad put it in a charity bag.
Yeah,
I was absolutely devastated.
I saw some footage of the Ramones the other day from, I think it was something like 1974, and they were so ahead of the game. You know, they were
definitely.
People were making kind of progressive rock records there that were like about 2 hours long each song, and then the Ramones were playing songs that were about
3 minutes long at most.
3 minutes long if you're lucky. That was an anthem.
I was going to say it was an anthem. That.
I mean, you were the Charlatans as well. I've seen you were linked with the Charlatans as well.
Yeah, we managed them for a long time, right the way through to a long time. We had 4 number 1 albums with them, and we looked after them for that whole period. And they started off on Dead Good, and a lot of the music around that era we were involved in. So the Manchester scene, for want of a better expression, and the whole of the hacienda and the house music scene. We were wrapped up in all that kind of stuff, and we did a lot, and looked after people like the Chameleons, Mark Burgess from the Chameleons, Peter Hook from Joy Division New Order, and his solo career, which was really good fun and incredibly rewarding. because
He
he was a
with Shine as
childhood
well.
hero of mine.
Are you still doing the Shine On now? The indie festival, Shine On?
Yeah, we've done a little bit of that. You know, I spoke at it a couple of years ago, and we had a fantastic weekend. We really enjoyed that. Peter played there. I think bands like Shed 7 were on there that year. The Chameleons played there. It was really good. And I think it's a nostalgia trip, isn't it, for people of a certain age? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm a Ned's, Carter, Wonder Stuff, Jim Bob.
Right.
That's all that type of stuff. I love all that type of stuff.
The Stourbridge contingency, isn't it? All that kind of West Midlands thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I travel all over to go see Jim Bob and Wonder Stuff in the Neds. If you can get them linked up and get them touring again, I'll be over the moon, mate.
Yeah, I think some of them actually played at that festival. I think they have, haven't they? Carter haven't they?
I think Jim Bob
played
did.
at that. Yeah.
Well, I think Mickey's going to have to start a side project of his music podcast. So we've got the first guest lined up for him. But Steve, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today. As I say, you've got two fantastic players. I'm sure you've got other ones on your books as well. But it's been a pleasure to see them develop at Gateshead, and hopefully Cooper's journey isn't over just yet.
No, and good luck to everybody. And you know, it's going to be really exciting. I think you've got a good, you know, a decent opportunity, haven't you, at Brackley, and Boston I'd rather have than York, you know what I mean? So
it's, as I say, I think it's a very open playoffs. I mean, we've just found out that we're over 3-1 to get past Brackley, which I think is very high. Hopefully the bookies have got that one wrong, but time will tell. But it's fantastic. And Steve, I say we'll let you go. Hopefully we can speak to you again in the future. And good luck with all your players and endeavours.
Thank you.
And thanks for all the support. Cheers.
Steve, thanks very much for coming on, mate. It's a pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care,
for the invitation.
You're welcome.
There we go, Steve Harrison there. I didn't realise he was so how involved he was in the music industry. He sent us a slight synopsis. I didn't think it would go a lot deeper than that. But a big thank you to him, and also say if Coyote is listening or watching, say it was fantastic having you at the club, and we're watching everything that you're doing. And Coops, well, I say the journey isn't over just yet. There might be 3 more games.
And Steve, keep putting the links up of music because I keep liking them.
Yeah, well, right. We've got a message from Lewis Wilkinson. What an achievement it would be for the club to bounce back straight to the National League. It would be. But
one hell of an achievement.
It's got to be one game at a time.
Exactly.
Like that. If you do want to call us, we have got time. We might be having Jack, the Brackley fan, ringing us. He can ring any time now. But if you want to ring us as well, 077 494 55002. That's 077 494 55002. And it's flew by. I say we've only got 7 minutes of regular time left, but we'll go into injury and extra time if needed. We're not going straight to penalties on this show.
We'll have to give you a kick so then an injury time.
Yeah, I'm already limping. Great to see that Coops was dying to come back.
That's nice to hear.
You know, the job wasn't over, but here we are.
It's just as nice to hear that Rotherham were equal as happy for him to come back.
Definitely. Hello, is that Jack?
Yes, it is.
How are you doing?
Evening, Jack. How are you doing?
Not bad, you?
Aye, Connie. All the better for hearing you, mate.
Yeah.
How's things developing at your end? I mean, we've managed to bring in a few players back on loan who were with us at the time, March the 16th. Last time we spoke to you, I think you had 10 or 11 players. What's the situation now?
We've got 16 now.
16.
Yeah, 16. We've got, I believe we got Wes York back from York.
Ah, right.
Oh, Wes will come back to haunt me. Oh, yeah. No.
We've got him back in training. But we've got our full squad really, except from one player.
Ah, well. Mm-hmm. Wes is a good player, isn't he?
He's a good player.
Yeah. Quick.
Especially when he fancies it. He's unstoppable on his day. But as I say, we haven't spoken to you in a couple of weeks, Jack. It's been a bit of a waiting game still, hasn't it? We've been waiting for ratification. It still hasn't. We were speaking to Thomas Feahney earlier on.
Yeah.
It still hasn't actually been 100% ratified that the games are going to take place.
No, hasn't, has it?
Yeah. Which
I
is
think
bizarre.
if they've confirmed the dates, I think the National League knows something about it.
Yeah.
They won't confirm the dates and tell clubs to start COVID testing.
Mm-hmm. You would think not, but you would think they would have confirmed it by now, though, wouldn't you?
Haven't they got a meeting Friday? I believe they got a meeting Friday.
Yeah, we heard it should be by the end of the week that it'll all be confirmed, and hopefully
they should confirm it. Hopefully,
yeah, and hopefully being able to see the games as well, because we know little to nothing at the moment. There has been tweets from certain clubs saying that it was going to be streamed, but there's no confirmation on that, to say that that's even going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a shambles at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
So
all we know is 19th July?
Yeah, definitely the 19th of July.
On a Sunday.
Yeah. 3 o'clock kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
Is it BBC Radio Northamptonshire covering the game? Or
last I heard it, yes.
Yeah. As I say, I don't think BBC Radio Newcastle, and it looks highly unlikely we'll be able to do it as well. So it looks like it could just be the local coverage, which would be great. It's good that we'll get it still. That's the most important thing.
I'm going down the cricket club and sitting in a tree.
Yeah, you're going to sit in the tree, are you?
Yeah,
you're sitting in the tree?
Yeah, in the tree.
I hope you're going to
the problem
video
is,
it.
Yeah, I know. The problem is, you said it now, you're going to have to mark that tree out. You're going to have to camp out in it a couple of nights before.
I am Saturday night.
Good on you, Jack. That's what I like this year.
So the people of Brackley do walk underneath a tree.
I did email the club
before.
And say, what's the situation about putting our flags behind the goal? You know what they've been doing, like Northampton games, Wickham games.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at it, so hopefully we can have our flags down there. So.
Yeah, that would be good. Are
you going to do the cardboard cutout thing?
I think we would do it, but it's just about planning it right now.
Yeah, as I say, that it doesn't seem like they can even organise having the games on live, let alone being able to put things in, allowing people to put things into grounds. It's very frustrating, but obviously since what's the feel of the Brackley fans since the last time
we're all buzzing now.
Yeah.
We all think we can get promoted.
We do as well.
Yeah.
Not Brackley gated. We actually think we've got a chance, but I think
because we've only lost against you. Top 6 sides, we've only lost against you this season. Well, and Boston away, but their manager came and went. Don't know how we didn't beat them. We beat them 4-0, but they beat us 1-0. We had about 10 shots on target.
Yeah. To be honest, I think all the teams like ourselves, Brackley, and the teams that finished as low as we did in the playoffs, I think are going to be in a better position for the playoffs in general because they're going to have that extra game time.
I don't know if you saw on Twitter, the National League said friendlies can happen.
Yeah, I've seen. Was it Dorking Wanderers?
Notts County Dorking Wanderers. Yeah. What a game!
I'm really jealous. I'm not going to be able to go and see that one. It's one for the history books, isn't it? But
Dorking Wanderers.
Yeah, but
are they in the playoff?
There must be because they'll be COVID tested. Yeah, as I say, shame on me. I haven't really concentrated too much on the South because it's just been wondering if the North's going to happen. But there's going to be a couple of teams are going to be able to get a friendly game in there. You imagine the teams are playing as much as they can behind closed doors, with players they've got, but it's not going to be the same as 11 versus 11, is it?
No. How's the testing been at yours? Any positive or negative?
All negative.
All negative is fair.
Yeah, we've had all negative.
Which is great because I don't know if you were listening earlier on. We were talking to Thomas Feahney, sports journalist, and we were saying what happens, say, if Brackley and Gateshead, pulled out 6 positive tests each, and then the games couldn't take place. It just throws maybe not a bad example, both our teams, but a team from other fixtures. It just throws it all into chaos, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that doesn't happen though.
I mean, I think
I don't think it will. I think. Well, fingers crossed. I think this virus is slowly going down, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
seems that way. Thankfully it is. Christopher Holmes has sent us a message. Dorking are in the playoffs, so
Dorking are in the
yeah. I mean, for us, we've got Newcastle on the doorstep, but it's only the first team, and they're playing games every other couple of days. So I can't see us getting a behind closed door friendly against them because.
No.
I could imagine we could maybe get Harrogate.
Yeah, I suppose so. They're very close.
Harrogate.
Mhm.
Yeah. Who's up next?
I mean,
Halifax. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the type of things that will York be looking at them because it's nigh on their doorstep as well.
Personally, if I was a Gateshead fan or behind them, I wouldn't want to play York in a friendly.
No, I wouldn't either.
Because if
you're not going to play each in the same league,
you do get to the final, when they get to the final as well, they might know your game plan.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they're going to have the friendlies, I think it'll be like the National League will be playing National League North or South teams or vice versa.
Yeah. I think Harrogate would be a good test for you.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
there seems to be good links between the clubs because, of course, we've got one of their players back on loan as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I suppose anything's possible on that front. But
I ain't saying that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I'm trying to think who's the furthest south away. I wouldn't be surprised if our lot got a game against Vantermoor or Louisville.
Yeah, Bath or Bath and Dorking, the winners go on to play Weymouth. So unless we get Weymouth in a friendly away,
Weymouth away.
Yeah, that would be a beautiful game, wouldn't it?
It's a great weekend. I've been there a few times.
Not under lockdown.
I've been there in Southern Prem. That's how long ago we were.
Yeah,
8 years now? We're in Southern Prem.
Mm-hmm.
How's the feeling at your base? How Gateshead? How the fans and all the members?
Well, most of us are quietly confident. We all know your game's an absolute a massive one because I think it's out of the playoff games. I think it's one of the ones that's 50-50. I've just been seeing the odds today. You're 11-8 on to win.
We're favourite, aren't we?
And we're 16-5. I think that's quite big odds. But I'm not saying that just because I'm a Gateshead fan, you're a Brackley fan. I think whoever wins this game has got the potential of being in the final. I genuinely mean that. I think whoever wins out of us is going to go into the final.
I think the one. I think against Gateshead next week, it gives us home advantage because I think being at home is more.
No, we wouldn't play any home games.
You wouldn't play any home games.
No, we would be away in all of these 3 games if we play 3 games.
Last time we spoke, I said about travelling. Have you any more?
We don't know anything as of yet. I think one saving grace for us is that we're sponsored by on the home shirt by a taxi company. So if they did have to travel down in groups of 2,
taxis.
Yeah, it could be taxis. But who knows?
Carpooling, I think, is still the way forward for them.
Yeah.
We're talking about carpooling in 2s, not only going to games but going to training as well.
Yeah, we spoke to the vice chairman of the club last week, and he said that it will be more than likely travelling away in 2s because that way, if someone was infected, then the chances are it's only going to be one person that's going to be infected. 2 people have to be infected, and no further throughout the squad. So
unless they do testing the Thursday, if it comes back negative, you got the bus. I think. What I heard from someone that if we do get through, we'll be doing bus.
Yeah.
To Boston.
Because
I think travelling as a squad, I think is much better than. I don't know.
As I say, if things keep going down as they are, hopefully then rules might change and they might be able to go on a coach. But I say that's obviously something we'll have to get to nearer the time. But as I say, we're 10 days out now, and
10 days.
we still don't know if we're going to see it, and I think that's probably the biggest quandary at the moment, isn't it?
I hope we do it well. I'm going to be able to say it because it's right on my doorstep. But for these Gateshead fans, this is the biggest game of the season, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
and for you to miss it, I think it's a bit wrong.
Yeah. I mean, we understand why, but it's just you'd think the National League and they'd be able to get some streaming service being able to do it and have it sorted before now.
Yeah.
But then again, it's quite a few games they've got to sort out as well. So it's not like it's just one game. So
It's okay, Jack. I'm coming to yours.
he's going to sit in the tree with you.
I'm going to sit in the tree with you.
If you really want, mate, just, as long as we stand 1 metre away,
Yeah.
you can come down.
I'll bring some cans.
Well, Jack,
bring anything. Just we can have a picnic if you really want to. Social distance picnic.
he's gonna pierce the sandwich on a branch and pass it over to you.
I'll wrap it in cling film and chuck it over to you.
Yeah.
Hope your catching skills are good.
Single-handedly on this podcast, we've got rid of football rivalries. We're having socially distancing picnics.
Yeah.
We're just throwing cling film at each other.
Yeah.
One thing. What I had a message on social media from a Gateshead fan. He was about 18, 19 years old. He keeps messaging me saying, "Oh look, we got the Gateshead firm coming down."
Oh god.
Yeah, sound. Yeah. He keeps messaging me saying, "Look, you better be scared. We got a few coming down in cars." I was like,
well, you know what the best thing to do on that would be is
just block him.
Just block him, or send his name to both clubs, and then because they're not going to be able to get into the ground anyway. But you know, it's just absolute stupidity, isn't it?
I think it's quite funny. Not going to lie, there.
Yeah.
I think if he wants to come down, he wants to come down. Fair play to him, but
yeah,
I don't think he's going to get past.
It's not going to be.
I wouldn't waste 4 hours in the car just to come down and see nothing.
Yeah, it's a strange one. But Jack, hopefully we can speak to you next week when we know more.
Next week, I'm not around next week because obviously we've got the playoffs, so we're.
Right.
I've got loads of stuff to do next week, so I'm not around.
Oh, well, not worry. Well, hopefully we'll after the game, the week after, the Wednesday after.
The week after.
We'll have a
whoever wins, I'll come on.
We'll have a collective cry for either side.
Happy cry, sad cry, whatever.
Yeah. It will be. But thank you very much for joining us, and we'll speak to you again soon. And if you do get in the tree, enjoy the game.
Yeah, I will do. Good luck to you lot. Hope you lot have a safe going down.
Aye.
Not you lot, but players and start. Do you know if there's any board members coming down, or do you not?
Haven't a clue anything. No. We as I say, it's all.
I think media. I think the media people will be able to come down.
Yeah. Well, I guess
I think selective board members like the chairman.
Yeah.
Don't know, do we?
No, well, as I say, we'll speak to you soon, and stay safe, and don't fall out the tree, whatever you do.
I try not to.
If you do fall out the tree, I hope it's because we're 3-0 up.
or I celebrated us winning 3-2 on pens.
That'll be right.
Anyway,
cheers.
Take care, Jack. Watch what you're doing, bud.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Well, we'll wrap it up very shortly. We've got a couple of messages here. We've got Mick Scully. Sad to hear about Austria Town.
Austria,
yeah, they've went under. Unfortunately, there wasn't even a chance to save them. It was just a case of, right, that's it, we're gone. But they didn't have a ground. They were ground sharing with TNS, weren't they? But then playing in a different league, of course. We know how close we came. That was a real shame for their fans. Of course it is. It's and Andy Mason's, but who the hell is the Gateshead firm? I don't know.
I'm good.
And Christopher Holmes, but whoever the fan is trolling the Brackley fan should be named and shamed. Embarrassment to the club. Well, hopefully it is just in jest, and no idiot's going to go down to Brackley. But Mickey, another great show there with
it's been a good show.
And hopefully if people are listening on this, we have been recording it video wise with a green screen behind us. We're going to see what it's like, but when we'll add effects and things, it may not even go because it might look rubbish. It might just be too much hard work. But we'll see. But big thank you to everyone that's listened. Thank you to Mickey. Thank you to our callers as well. 3 callers. We had Thomas Feahney, who was great to talk to. Steve Harrison, wealth of knowledge on music and football.
And great to speak to Steve. Well, all the lads.
Yeah, great to speak to Jack again as well. So we'll be back next week where we will be counting down the days to the game. It'll be only 4 days away, 3 days away. It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Are you going to try and get the gaffer in?
Well, we're going to put some feelers out next week. I've put some feelers out already. I haven't done anything towards the club yet. We did try to get Alex Nicholson. Didn't look at his DMs, did he? I tried to slide in his DMs. He was having none of it. So, Alex Nicholson, check your DMs. But yeah,
we'll still need to get Nicky Dev on.
Yeah, we'll get Nicky Devidics back on. So we'll leave it there. Thank you to everyone else that's messaged. It's been fantastic. And we'll see you next time. So, bye.
Thanks a lot, lads.